It's 9 p.m. The house is quiet. And after 40, that silence feels heavier. Not peaceful, just echoing. The sink is clean. Your schedule is organized. Your life looks in order. Yet something inside you keeps waiting. Your phone is silent. No one hurt you today. Nothing went wrong. And still, your chest tightens. You are not desperate. You were never that kind of woman. You built your own life. You learned not to depend on anyone. Stable career. Bills paid. Friends who admire your strength. A life many people wish they had. But when night arrives, the question returns. It always returns. Like an old whisper. If I did everything right, why do I still feel alone? Maybe you think the problem is loneliness. But often, it isn't. What hurts is not simply being alone. It's not understanding why. The house is quiet. The night is ordinary. Yet something inside you moves. And asks for answers. For years you learned to be strong. To handle everything alone. To not burden anyone. To swallow emotions. To organize life. To keep everything running. To appear calm. And it worked. You became competent. Independent. Emotionally mature. Responsible for yourself. The reliable woman. The composed woman. The woman who handles everything. The woman everyone admires. But there is a part of the soul that doesn't live on that. It doesn't live on efficiency. It doesn't live on control. It lives on intimacy. On presence. On shared life. On emotional rest. On being truly seen. The psychiatrist Carl Jung called this the shadow. The shadow of the psyche. The part we hide. The part we silence. Desires that seemed dangerous. Fragilities that seemed weak. Needs no one taught us to express. So they stayed hidden. So you built a persona. The strong version of you. The organized version. The secure version. The version who needs no one. The version who solves everything. The version who never asks for help. The version the world respects. During the day this persona works. It works. It decides. It fixes. It leads. It protects you. Keeps life stable. And no one sees anything. But at night something shifts. Silence creates space. The mind slows down. The mask relaxes. And the heart begins to speak. Without filters. Without performance. Without defense. Then strange questions appear. Questions you avoid during the day. Questions that feel uncomfortable. Questions that feel unfair. Did something in me push love away? Did I wait too long? Did I become too strong? Does anyone truly see me? And this is where the truth begins to surface. Strength saved your emotional life many times. Protected you. Sustained you. Kept you standing. But that same strength created distance. A quiet distance. One you may never have noticed. There is a quiet moment in the life of many strong women. It doesn't happen in public. It doesn't appear in photos. Or in conversations with friends. It happens inside the mind. When you begin to notice a pattern. Different faces. But similar stories. You meet someone interesting. He seems stable. Intelligent. Charming. The conversation flows. There is connection. There is curiosity. There is promise. But soon something changes. He begins to pull away. Replies less. Cancels plans. Becomes emotionally distant. And you try to understand. You try to adjust. You try not to lose him. So you try harder. You listen more. You understand more. You forgive more. You wait more. You tolerate more. You give more. And realize too late. Because the pattern didn't start with him. It started long before. Maybe years ago. Maybe in childhood. When you learned something silent. Something deep. Something that shaped how you love. Something still living in you. Maybe you learned to be strong early. To take care of yourself. To not depend emotionally. To solve everything alone. To not ask for much. To not bother anyone. To not demand presence. To accept the minimum. And without realizing it, you began choosing unavailable people. Not on purpose. But through emotional familiarity. Because distance feels safe. Uncertainty feels known. Effort feels like love. And ease feels suspicious. The problem is that this pattern creates an invisible cycle. You meet someone distant. You try to prove your worth. You invest emotional energy. You wait for recognition. But the bond never deepens. And when it ends, the question returns. Why does this always happen to me? And here something difficult must be said. You didn't choose the pain. But maybe you learned to recognize love only when it comes mixed with effort, with uncertainty, with anxiety, with waiting, with proving your value, as if love, you were always a test. But there is a truth that changes everything. Healthy love rarely feels familiar at first. Feels strange. If these words feel like they are describing your life, then this channel was made for you. Here we talk about the pains almost no one dares to name. Silent loneliness, night anxiety, relationships that confuse the soul. Click the button now and subscribe, because sometimes all we need is to finally understand what we are living through. And maybe this is the place where your story starts making sense. There is a silent cost to living like this. It doesn't appear immediately. It doesn't explode all at once. It accumulates slowly. Small frustrations, small silences, small goodbyes, until something inside you gets tired. At first you believe it's just bad luck. The wrong person, the wrong moment, the wrong city, maybe the wrong app, maybe timing, maybe life, maybe fate. So you try again. With hope, with maturity, with caution, with more discernment, with more observation, with more awareness. But something repeats, and each repetition leaves marks. Small but deep. You begin to doubt. Not love itself, but your ability to find it. Not life itself, but your place within it. Emotional fatigue appears slowly. You don't notice it first, but it settles in. As excessive caution, as emotional distance, as quiet withdrawal, as constant protection, as internal vigilance. Then something shifts inside you. You're still open, but not completely. Still kind, but slightly reserved. Still curious, but more tired. Still hoping, but with less faith. And loneliness begins to change meaning. It is no longer only absence. It becomes familiar territory. A safe place. A predictable place. A place where no one can hurt you. A place where you stay in control. A place where the heart rests. But this safety has a cost. Because constant protection is also distance. And prolonged distance becomes emotional habit. You learn to live well alone. Solve everything alone. Celebrate victories alone. Process sadness alone. And the world adapts to that. Then the false solutions appear. Maybe loving more will fix it. Maybe pleasing more will fix it. Maybe adapting more will fix it. Maybe closing off will fix it. Maybe stopping will fix it. Maybe giving up will fix it. Maybe accepting loneliness will fix it. But none of those solutions truly work. Because the problem was never loving too much. The problem was learning to love, without ever feeling truly chosen. There comes a moment when something shifts inside you. It is not a dramatic event, not a sudden revelation. It is a quiet realization. You begin to understand your patterns. You begin to see your emotional cycles. You begin to recognize old choices. And that changes everything. Because awareness changes the game. What once felt automatic now becomes visible. What once felt like destiny now looks like a pattern. What once felt like bad luck now looks like repetition. And repetition can be interrupted. The first healing action is simple, but deeply uncomfortable. You must learn to observe. Before attaching, before investing emotionally, before explaining the other person, before justifying strange signals, before trying to rescue the relationship. Many mature women have a dangerous talent. They understand too much. They justify too much. They empathize too much. They forgive too much. They wait too long. They give too much time. And in that process, they forget themselves. Then a new question appears. A powerful psychological question. It is not, does he like me? It is not, could this work? The question becomes different. More mature. More honest. More protective of your soul. Do I feel emotionally safe here? That question changes everything. Because emotional safety is not built on promises. It is built on consistency, on presence, on transparency, on genuine interest, on reciprocity, on peace. The second healing action is even deeper. You must allow something you may have avoided for years. Conscious vulnerability. Not neediness, not dependency, but healthy emotional openness. The courage to be truly seen, without the constant armor of the strong woman. This does not mean trusting anyone. It means stopping the hiding of parts of your soul. Parts that also deserve to exist. the desire for companionship, the desire for affection, the desire for intimacy, the desire to share life, the desire to not be strong all the time. And when that happens, something surprising begins. You stop trying to convince someone to stay, and you begin to observe who actually chooses to stay. If your mind wandered for a moment, come back here with me. Pay attention now, because what comes next is the most important part of this video. This is where many women finally understand something that changes the way they see their own story. Perhaps you have spent years believing a story, a quiet story, that something was missing in you, something that made people leave, something that made love difficult, something that needed fixing, something that explained your loneliness. But that story may not be true. There is another possibility, one few people consider, and it changes everything. Maybe God was never taking something away from you. Maybe He was protecting you from shallow relationships, from fragile bonds, from stories that would have broken your soul. Often we interpret absence as rejection, but not every closed door is a loss. Some are protection, some are redirection, some prevent deeper wounds, some save years of your life, some quietly change your destiny, even when you don't understand. There is ancient wisdom about this. In the book of Proverbs it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight." Sometimes life feels confusing, but paths are still being aligned. Perhaps you tried to understand everything alone. Perhaps you carried too much weight. Perhaps you tried to control every emotional detail. Who enters? Who stays? Who leaves? Who deserves trust? Who deserves distance? But there are moments when even the strongest woman must rest. Resting does not mean giving up. It means trusting. It means allowing something greater to guide parts of the story. Parts you cannot control. Parts that do not depend only on you. Parts that belong to time. Parts that belong to God. And there is another promise even deeper. In the book of Psalms it says, "God sets the lonely in families." This is not only about marriage. It is about belonging, about real connections, about the right people arriving at the right time, about lives being aligned. So maybe your loneliness is not failure. Maybe it has been a process, a season of growth, a season of protection, a season of inner building, a season of emotional clarity, a season of deep learning, a season of preparation. Maybe, just maybe, God never forgot about you. There comes a moment in life when something finally settles inside you. Not because life became perfect, not because every question was answered, but because something in your soul matured. The anxiety softens, the urgency fades, and you begin to see your own story differently. You realize you were never late, never broken, never destined for loneliness. You were learning about yourself, about boundaries, about discernment, about the kind of love you truly deserve. Because now you understand something that once felt invisible. Real love does not require you to shrink yourself. It does not require constant explanations. It does not require begging for presence. It does not require proving your worth. It does not require carrying the relationship alone. It does not require constant anxiety. It does not require emotional struggle. Real love brings something different. It brings peace, consistency, clarity, presence, care, reciprocity, rest for the heart. And when you understand this, something powerful happens. You stop chasing love and begin living your life fully. You protect your peace, your energy, your time, your heart. And strangely, that is when the right things start aligning. Because emotionally healthy people recognize peace. And peace recognizes peace. Maybe love will still arrive. Maybe it is closer than you think. Maybe it will come unexpectedly. Maybe it will begin with a simple conversation. Maybe it will grow slowly. Maybe it will arrive when you are no longer trying to prove anything. But even before that, something already changed. You are no longer living from emotional scarcity. You are living from awareness. And awareness turns loneliness into freedom. You may still share your life with someone. But now, you no longer have to lose yourself to do that. Now you no longer have to betray yourself to be loved. Now you no longer have to beg for presence. Now you know who you are. And that changes the destiny of any story. Because when a woman finally finds her peace, love stops being a desperate search. and becomes simply an encounter. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to our channel right now. Here we talk about loneliness, emotional anxiety, and relationship discernment with honesty and maturity, without illusions. This space may be exactly what your soul needed to find at this stage of life. Because some messages arrive at the exact moment we need them. And the next one might be for you. And if you stayed until the end of this video, write in the comments, "I choose peace." Many women here are walking the same quiet journey. When you declare this, you strengthen a new emotional path within yourself. And may God strengthen your peace, your clarity, and the right connections that are still ahead.